Hello and welcome to Speaking Football. My name's Tommy Hay and I'm joined here in Madrid by my colleague Ruben Palomero for episode number 102 of this series. Thank you to everyone out there for having joined Ruben and I today in our episode on the radio. Remember, you can also watch us on YouTube if you go to our YouTube channel. Ruben, Speaking Football, is that the name of the YouTube channel?
Yeah, Speaking Football. You can look for that name and you are going to find the episodes, the last episode, and little shorts about the more interesting part, especially play on words. Actually.
Yes, exactly. Play on words. So all the vocab and some of the articles and things that we look at, you can see them physically on our YouTube channel. So wherever you're joining us from, wherever you're listening to us from, thank you for joining us. If you're listening to us on the radio, remember that if you enjoyed listening to Richard Vaughan live over the last hour, you can hear more from Richard after this show on La Hora Extra. So as always, stick around for that. Now, there are lots of interesting things to talk about on today's program. In a few minutes, we'll be having a chat about what can only be described as a chaotic end to last week's Champions League quarter-final between Manchester City and Atletico Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano. And later, Ruben and I will be challenging each other to see if we can guess some very complicated idiomatic expressions in English and in Spanish. We'll end the show, as always, with our weekly press review, where we will discuss, among other things, that controversy surrounding Gerard Piqué, Rubiales, and the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia. So lots of very interesting things to talk about. And we'll also be teaching you the meaning of the English expression to be running on fumes, which is a very interesting thing that you can say in English in various contexts. First, though, let's begin the program, as always, by revealing the identity of last week's mystery player. Okay, Ruben, you can kick us off with clue number one.
Clue number one, his ancestors were from the Gypsy community.
Very good. His ancestors were from the Gypsy community. You would say the ascendencia gitana, no? So his ancestors or his family were from the Gypsy community. Clue number two, only Ronaldo, that's Cristiano Ronaldo, and Messi have scored more goals than him in La Liga. So until Ronaldo and Messi, I think it was until Messi, this player had the record for the most goals in the history of La Liga. Very impressive record. Clue number three, Ruben.
He was once described as the best head in Europe after Churchill.
Very good. He was once described as the best head in Europe after Churchill. La mejor cabeza de Europa después de Churchill. In a Swedish magazine, I believe, or a Swedish person.
Was Churchill a good striker?
I don't think he ever played football. I don't think he had any interest in football at all. I think he played rugby at school, Winston Churchill, as many rich British people did. He played rugby. But football, I think, was more the working class, el deporte de la clase obrera. It was more the working class sport. So I don't think Churchill was involved in football. I think they were more thinking about his mental capacity. No, I think he was quite a clever man, Winston Churchill. So la mejor cabeza de Europa después de Churchill was this player, the best head in Europe after Churchill. Clue number four, his most famous goal was against England. Su gol más famoso fue contra Inglaterra. His most famous goal was against England. And clue number five, Ruben.
He played for Athletic Bilbao.
Very good. He played for Athletic Bilbao. So obviously that gives us a big clue as to where he was from. Who was our mystery player this week, Ruben?
Our mystery player was Telmo Zarra.
Telmo Zarra, yes. The Zarra, I remember when I was growing up, you only heard about him because he was the number one scorer. Everybody knew that Zarra was the number one scorer. And it wasn't until Lionel Messi broke his record that he lost that title. Really incredible scoring record for Athletic Bilbao. Did we have many winners this week, Ruben?
Of course. For example, Daniel Martín Castillo, un clásico CBP que nunca falla. Rubén Enfandiari, que también siempre está ahí. David Torres también acertó Zarra. Mauro también. Javier Montero dijo Telmo Zarra. Carlos Rubén dice, ¿is he Telmo Zarra? Y Alberto LFI dijo, it's Telmo Zarra.
Fantastic. Well, congratulations to everybody who got that one correct. Now, Jose Ramon from the Show wrote us a very interesting message full of fantastic trivia. Amigos, friends, there is no doubt whatsoever, I like that, there is no doubt whatsoever, sin lugar a dudas, you could say, there is no doubt whatsoever that this time you've picked the best Spanish footballer ever, or at least one of the best. He had gypsy blood, so that's another way to say that he was from a particular family. You could say he had Spanish blood or French blood, but this boy had gypsy blood, and his mother's surname was Montoya. Apparently, Montoya is a typical name in that community, Montoya. So his mother's surname was Montoya. He, the mystery player, as a child was nicknamed Telmito el Miedoso, which is miedoso would be fearful or like nervous. So Telmito, little Telmo, the nervous or the fearful one, you could say, as he was extremely quiet. So very, very, very shy. Remember, quieto in English, we wouldn't say calm. I would probably say quiet in the sense of like tímido, no? Mm-hmm. So he was very quiet, very shy. As a professional, he formed part of the squad with these 11 players. Now, I want you to correct me on my pronunciation here, Ruben. Carmelo was the goalkeeper. Orue. Mm-hmm. Canito.
Sí.
Garay. Mm-hmm. They were the defenders. Mauri.
Sí.
Maregi. Mauregui is right. Yeah, Mauregui. And Arteche. Mm-hmm. And he's also said Venancio, Zarra was obviously the front line. Panizo, Gainza.
Y Gainza. De hecho, esto se dice casi de carrerilla, los delanteros. Arteche, Venancio, Zarra, Panizo y Gainza.
Ah, okay. So it's like a famous forward line, we would say the forward line. Yeah. As the forwards. He was known worldwide as the man with the best head after Winston Churchill, effectively, he scored the most famous goal against the English goalkeeper, Bert Williams was the name of the English goalkeeper, who became quite friendly with Zarra and was invited to his retirement party in Bilbao in 1997. So that's how significant that goal was in both of their lives. I am, of course, referring to Telmo Zarra as the mystery player. Jose Ramon is a fountain of trivia, isn't he? Lots of very interesting information.
I can see a lot of knowledge about that years.
Unbelievable. About those years, exactly. Yeah, a lot of knowledge about those years. So fantastic. Thanks for your message, Jose Ramon. Thanks to everybody else that participated. Really interesting stuff. Now it's on to our first section of today's program, which is, of course, our football cliche of the day. Okay, now obviously last week we were on holiday. We were on our Easter break for what you call Semana Santa here. We would say the Easter holidays. So we were on the Easter holidays here, and we therefore couldn't comment on the Champions League quarterfinal second leg matches. Now the newspapers on Wednesday were full of praises halago. They were full of praise for Villarreal and Real Madrid, who both qualified for the semi-finals. Really great night for Spanish football. Then on Wednesday night, it wasn't such a good night. And on Thursday morning, the sports media in England and in Spain as well were only talking about one thing, which was, of course, Atletico and Man City clash in tunnel after bad-tempered Champions League battle. So there's lots of great vocabulary here. What happened exactly? Could you explain in Spanish, Ruben, what happened on Wednesday night in the Wanda Metropolitana?
Obviously, it was a very tense match. And after them, when they were in the tunnel, several players was very, very hot. And it's difficult to say, well, they are talking about it. They are going to push between them.
Push each other.
And well, obviously now in our lives, there are cameras everywhere. So we can see the image.
Yeah, exactly. Now you said something there, the players were very hot. I would say they were very emotional or very angry or something like that. Yeah. So the players were very angry and they started to push each other. Yes. Well, that among other things. So there were lots of interesting things. Now I love this article that we've chosen from goal.com in English. I'll read out that title again. Atletico and Man City clash. How would you say clash in Spanish?
Es como será como un enfrentamiento, ¿no? Como que hay como una pelea, como una fricción entre ambos.
I like that. So would you say se pelean? You'd maybe say? Yeah. So they clash. You could say two people clash or two teams clash. They clash in the tunnel after bad-tempered Champions League battle. So bad-tempered. I like that a lot. Does that say anything to you?
Nosotros diríamos algo así como que un partido en el que subió la temperatura, ¿no? Vosotros decís mala temperatura, ¿no?
If you say that somebody has a bad...
if you say that temperamento. Es temperamento, ¿no?
Temperamento, yeah. So like, if you say that somebody has a bad temper, it's sort of like, now this, I don't think they say this in Latin America, but in Spain, they say that you have mala leche, bad milk.
Ah, mala leche.
So tener mala leche is to have a bad temper.
Nosotros
Does that give you more of an idea?
Utilizamos temperamento cuando quieres hablar de una persona que tiene un carácter muy fuerte, tiene también una mala... O sea, puede estar un poco relacionada, a lo mejor en cuanto a la raíz, a temperate, a temperamento, pero sí, sería mala leche, bad tempered. Yeah.
That's it. So it's almost as if, I don't know, you wouldn't say that a game has mala leche, but you can in English. You can, in fact, say that a game is like that. A bad-tempered game just means a very emotional game, a very intense game with a little bit of maybe violence, you could say, and that's more or less what we saw. Our cliche of the day is not bad-tempered. Our cliche of the day is in the next line, tensions boiled over.
Boiled.
Tensions boiled over.
Boil es hervir.
Hervir, exactly.
La tensión hirvió por encima, o sea, hirvió de más. Sería algo así, ¿no?
That's it. Like, now we'll try and translate this correctly in a second, but yeah, it's literally this idea of imagine the game is the water in a pot, in una olla.
Una olla.
Imagine it's that. And imagine you're boiling the water and you forget about the water. You forget that you're boiling the water and the water rises and rises and rises and shortly it boils over the pot. This is the image that we have. It's a very poetic, expressive image. Do you have something similar in Spanish, like la tensión del partido? I don't know. You wouldn't use the verb hervir, ¿no?
Sí, bueno, hervir lo podemos utilizar para hervir la sangre. En España nos hierve la sangre. Eso significa que no puedes controlar tu rabia porque te está hirviendo la sangre. Hombre, hay otras construcciones similares para decir que el partido se excedió en los límites, el partido tenía una máxima tensión, por ejemplo, se dice mucho. Serían otros términos, pero nosotros para hervir, nos herviría la sangre. Me hierve la sangre cuando y pasa algo que no te gusta.
Interesting. Okay, so we would say in English that tensions boiled over. You can say, there is an expression in English which is similar to what you say about hervir la sangre. You can say that if something makes you angry, if something annoys you a lot, you can say it makes my blood boil. So you can actually say that.
Exactly the same, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Make my blood boil, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. You say it about people quite a lot. For example, Boris Johnson. Boris Johnson makes my blood boil. Okay, I don't like him. Boris Johnson makes my blood boil. But you can say that in a game. The tensions boiled over. It just means like se le fue de las manos, you know? It went out of control. It went out of control. So tensions boiled over. And it's honestly, you hear it all the time in football. People always say it. Tensions are boiling over. It just means there's a fight. And another thing that footballing commentators often say when there's a situation like a fight in a game, or like, you know, something the other night, and people start to fight on the pitch, is that they say nobody wants to see this. Nadie quiere ver esto. I don't know if I agree with that. I think people do want to see things like this. I don't know what you think, Ruben.
Yeah, I am. For example, if you look for a bit of information about it, there are people that like it. For example, in hockey, ice hockey, I think it's a part of the game.
Totally really. Part of the
game. When they are fighting, it's a part of the game.
Yeah.
The boxeo go on 16. They prefer people. We are going to say checking their strong.
Checking their strength.
Yeah, checking the strength. For example, this common. I think that they want to look that. And football and another sport, they are the sport that you have to fight against something, and it's a way to do it. Obviously, I am not going to discuss the violence, but this, I think, I am not sure that if you have una encuesta, no me sale, Tommy.
Una encuesta, a poll, we would say, P-O-L-L.
You go to a poll,
yeah,
you are going to find a lot of people that they want to watch that.
I didn't see anybody on social media, on Twitter that evening, last Wednesday. I didn't see anybody saying, "Oh, this is terrible." The only people who said nobody wants to see this were the commentators in the game. Maybe it's because they have to have an official.
Yeah, that's what they have to say.
That's it. That's what they have to say. Yeah, they can't say, "Oh, that was brilliant." That was fantastic. But yeah, I think on social media, nobody really cares. It's interesting what you said about ice hockey. In ice hockey, there is a designated player in every team who his job really is to be a bit of what you would say in Spanish is un matón. Now, un matón in English is, do you know how to say it? Un matón in English?
No, ni idea.
We would say a thug. Thug. Some people maybe have seen the memes on the internet of thug life. Yeah, like thug life. But un matón is a thug. And the player in ice hockey, they use I don't know if it's a North American word, which is goon, G-O-O-N, goon.
Mm-hmm.
And the goon is el matón del equipo. And it's a real position or a real role that they have in the team, el matón del equipo. So absolutely, it forms part of that sport. In football, not so much. You see sometimes
everybody knows goons in football too, but they are not an official character. It's not official character.
Exactly, it's not an official position, is it? The goon of the team, but they do exist, but it's not an official part of the sport.
Yeah, and very difficult would be it's very difficult to have goons at teams.
Well, this is it, and I think there are going to be sanctions for both teams. Possible multas, possible fines for both teams after this. So,
and I'd like to watch the cameras in the 60s or the 50s in the tunnel.
Yeah. Oh, all sorts of crazy things would happen in those generations. There was a very famous game. It was between Chelsea and Leeds United. In the early 70s. I can't remember what year exactly, possibly 1972 or 3. And it was absolutely crazy. It's known as the dirtiest game in football, the most violent game in the history of football. And if you can go onto YouTube, type in Leeds United, Chelsea FA Cup, and you'll find the video. It's from the 1970s. Genuinely one of the most violent games of football in the history of the sport, but very entertaining. Very, very entertaining. So we can't complain. Okay, well, before we go for a break, we're wanting to start with this little challenge that Ruben and I have where we test each other's skills as language learners. And we're going to do this with a little section that we like to call Play on Words. Okay, Ruben, I can't remember. I think last time I won, I believe, this challenge. No?
Yeah.
I think I guessed.
Yes, you won last time.
It's amazing. Now that's a strange thing for me to win, to beat you in this challenge. Normally Ruben beats me. For those of you listening for the first time, the concept of this game very quickly is that I have two words in English that Ruben has to try and guess the meaning of, and Ruben has two words in Spanish that I have to try and guess the meaning of. And it's quite difficult for both of us to do it because obviously vocabulary is very vast.
Specific.
It's very wide.
Very specific.
And it's very specific, yeah. And especially when we get into the vocabulary of different European countries and things like that. So yeah, not too easy. Well, Ruben, would you like to start this week? Would you like a word in English?
I'd like to start. And I want to start with an easy word. I think it's an easy word for you. Okay. I think it's an easy word for you, but I like to do it. We are going to talk about, my first word is retaguardia.
Retaguardia. Okay.
Retaguardia.
Reta. Okay, so let's
Could be two words. Reta, luego retar, guardia. Like The guard.
This is it. So yeah, I know. So,
Challenging the guard.
Yeah,
No,
challenging the
retaguardia.
guard. That's true. So the verb retar is to challenge somebody. Un reto is a challenge. Guardia is guard.
A guard.
For example, the civil guard, the Guardia Civil in Spain, the civil guard. Now, if you combine those two words, I think that's quite a difficult thing. I've heard this word before, but in a military context. So in the context of the army. So you hear about the retaguardia of, I don't know, any kind of, for example, in the situation just now with Ukraine, and Ukraine and Russia, you hear that word quite a lot on the news. I'm trying to think, could you maybe use it in a sentence for me? Or could you give me an example of something?
Yeah, you can say, for example, la retaguardia es la parte más importante del equipo.
Okay, la retaguardia, and it's feminine. La retaguardia es la parte más importante del equipo. Okay. Now, I'm going to have a guess. We don't use this word in English in football so much, but in the military sense, I believe it is rear guard. Rear guard. Rear guard. Now, the rear guard is like the part behind the main army. So the rear guard it's almost like the back line of the army. So I think in a football sense, it would probably be the defensive line. Is that the correct way to say it? Like the zaga, maybe?
Is that your answer?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Yes, of course. It's the defender. The defender es la retaguardia del equipo, es la defensa. La parte más de atrás, y efectivamente es un término militar que digamos que avanza de la parte trasera, que se mantiene más alejada del enemigo. Cubre el movimiento del ejército en marcha o en operaciones. La zona más alejada del frente.
That's it, yeah. So in English, we don't say the rear guard so much. In the army context, we would say rear guard, absolutely. Rear, R-E-A-R, guard, like guardia. In football, we would probably say the back line or the defensive line.
The defender line. Y de hecho, retaguardia en español se puede utilizar para muchos otros conceptos ya no militares. O sea, la retaguardia es como la parte de atrás. Cubre la retaguardia, es cubre lo de atrás, siempre.
Okay, so you can use it in a figurative sense as well, not just a literal sense of an army or a football team or a rugby team. You can use it in a figurative sense as well. That's interesting. Yeah, the rear guard, the crossover, it's almost the same. But again, I would say the defensive line, the back line, you could maybe say as well, depending on the numbers of the players, you could say the back three, the back four, the back five, etc. That would be how you would say retaguardia in English. Fantastic. Okay, good start for me. Now, do we have time to go on to another one? I think that we will go for a quick break just now. But before I do, I'm going to give you my word, okay? And I'm going to leave you for the break to see if you can maybe guess it. I'm going to go for a Scottish word. And
oh my god.
Let's go for the most difficult one. I'm going to give you a Scottish expression, which is dug meat. Dug meat.
Perro de carne. ¿Qué es eso?
Dug meat. It's quite a difficult one. So dug is dog in Scottish, D-U-G, and then meat, like carne. Stick around after the break. We're going to take a quick 5-minute break. Try and think about what dug meat could possibly mean in a football context. See you in a second. Okay, welcome back to Speaking Football. Now, before the break, Ruben was challenging me on my knowledge of the word retaguardia in Spanish. Retaguardia, we decided in English, was defensive line, back line, or...
Yeah, Tommy has been living in Spain a lot of years. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to find a Spanish word that Tommy doesn't know it.
Doesn't know. Well, I think in Spanish, like once or twice, it surprised me. Some Spanish words, but yeah, retaguardia I think is not too complicated. The difference now is when I suspect that Ruben has a Latin American word for me in the next part of this challenge. However, I'm challenging him currently on a Scottish expression, which is dug meat. D-U-G-M-E-A-T.
Carne de perro.
Carne de perro.
Es carne de perro porque dug puede ser también, D-U-G podría ser el pasado de cavar. ¿no? O sea, puede ser carne excavada o carne de perro. ¿De qué estamos hablando?
It's true.
We were talking about it.
Yeah, that's it. So are we talking about, this is the thing, are we talking about like to dig, the verb excavar, or are we talking about un perro, a dog, which in Scottish is dug, D-U-G? Are we talking
it's Scottish, it's a dog, no? It's carne de perro. The literal translation is carne de perro. Someone, when speaking football in Scotland, say duck meat is something in relation with the football. Could you tell me a sentence with that beautiful expression?
Okay. I thought the team today was absolute dug meat.
So you can be duck meat. You can be a team who can say, we are duck team. You're playing with your friends and you say, we are duck team.
No, we wouldn't say dug team. No, we would say dug meat. So
duck team. Duck meat. Duck meat.
Exactly.
We are duck meat.
Duck meat. Yeah.
Okay. Could you tell me a team who is duck meat right now? Because I think it's not positive. No, it's not positive. You can be positive if you are carne de perro, no? You are something negative.
I think you're maybe on the right track there. Okay, did you see the Liverpool versus Manchester United team game on Tuesday night? Okay,
4-0.
One of those teams was absolute.
Okay, Manchester United was documented. Because you can be positive. You can go to any place and say, that team or something positive. No, you are in the shit. You're in the shit, no?
It's a little bit vulgar, but yeah, I would say so. I mean, dug meat isn't vulgar, but it's basically to say that you're terrible. You're really bad. You're absolutely terrible. You're rubbish, you could say.
You're rubbish.
But in Scotland, it's an expression that we use to if you say that somebody or the team, you can say that the team were absolute dug meat today, or United are absolute dug meat. Just means that they're just not very good. There was a Scottish manager, I think it was maybe 2 weeks ago, used this on the BBC. The BBC journalist asked him, how did you think the team played? And he said, we were absolute dug meat and the other team should have won. So he conceded that although they won the game, they were not very good. We were absolute dug meat and we didn't get it. So yeah, very good. Negative thing is what we would say. In neutral English, we would probably say we were terrible. We were rubbish. We could say
we are awful. We are awful team.
Awful.
If you are in a conference press, you are not going to say that. You're going to say,
a press conference.
A press conference. We didn't play properly today. we were not so much. But if you are with your friend, okay, we are dug meat.
Dug meat, that's it. We're absolute dug meat. Exactly. So very informal and very, very Scottish expression. Okay, Ruben, the next one for me.
This one for you. Now we are going to prepare a beautiful trip to Argentina.
Oh, very nice.
I know you love it, and that's the reason why I select a new word, a very interesting word from Argentina, and the word is calecitero.
Calecitero. Oh my
Calecitero.
God.
And it's not relating with Game of Thrones. And Caleci, no, nothing like that. It's calecitero. Calecitero is a word you can hear in an Argentinian match.
Calecitero.
Now,
ero can be an adjective or it can be a noun.
A ver, al que hace los caminos le puedes llamar caminero.
Caminero, exactly. Yeah. I like the expression as well, chaquetero.
Yo me he pedido palomero.
Palomero. Palomero is like a bird keeper, no? It's like somebody.
Yes. Dove keeper.
Yeah, bird keeper. Yeah, dove keeper. Exactly. Yeah. Calecitero. What is a caleci? Yeah, caleci makes me think of Game of Thrones. So, and I think that's
not the same. No. It's not going to help you.
I imagine because it's Spanish, you spell it with a C, no? C-A-L. Yeah. How do you spell it?
Yeah, C-A-L-E-S-I-T-E-R-O.
Okay, C-A-L-E-S-I.
Sí, lo bueno del español es que se pronuncia igual que se lee, entonces es calecitero.
Yeah, that's it. Very, very simple to spell Spanish. I'm going to have to ask you for a clue here. Ruben. What could you give me an example of a calecitero?
I can tell the player, in my opinion, they're caleciteros.
Okay.
Un calecitero es un jugador con unas características, and I'm going to tell you not one, not two, I'm going to tell you three.
Generous, man. Very generous.
Wow, yeah, I feel generous this afternoon. Okay, calecitero. One of these, Diego Capel. Do you know who Diego Capel is? A player who played a lot of teams, even in the foreigns, and is from Seville youth team.
He's from the Sevilla youth team.
Barcelona youth team, I remember.
Okay.
Calecitero, yo diría que Diego Capel es un calecitero. Otro, un poquito más calecitero que Diego Capel, sería Onésimo. Onésimo played at Barcelona, Valladolid, a great player in my opinion, very, very, very good. And the third one, very popular, Robert Prosinecki, in my opinion, is very calecitero too.
Prosinecki, right? So we were talking about Prosinecki, last year.
Yeah, Prosinecki was one of our mystery players.
Yeah. Why were we talking about Prosinecki? I can't remember. I can't remember what the reason was. He was a mystery player. Could you remind us a little bit about the career of Prosinecki? Could you give me trying to think? Because these players, I don't know too much about these players. I have to be honest. I don't really know much about them. But it's a characteristic. It's a player with characteristics. Would you say that, is it like in an attacking sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Because Prosinecki was like an attacking player. Oh man, I'm really, really struggling here. I'm really, really struggling. I'm trying to break down the word. Calesi, does calesi mean anything?
Sí, de hecho viene de un verbo. El verbo calecitear.
Calecitear.
Algo así, se puede utilizar como verbo.
Oh my God. Right.
Que calecitea. Alguien que calecitea es un calecitero. Esto parece un trabalengua, pero sí.
Calecitero. It's really, really difficult. It makes me think it's maybe something a bit like desequilibrante, this kind of idea. Like maybe somebody that can... Desequilibrante in English would be like a problematic player, a player who causes problems.
You're talking about to dribble or to be problematic? I don't know what you are answering.
Yeah, so you
can answer
to
two
dribble.
balls.
Yeah, to dribble. Yeah, exactly. So not like
no.
So not like Traoré.
No, it's not.
Traoré is not a calecitero.
No, it's that. I think you are not going to find it out.
I think I'm very, very, very lost. Very, very lost.
Okay, I am going to translate exactly the definition of calecitero. Es un jugador vistoso, pero poco efectivo. No suelta el balón y da vueltas con la cabeza, gachas muchas veces, con la idea de esquivar rivales y de no enredarse entre sus propias piernas.
That's a very difficult thing to... So, it's a player that... It's a player that I'm not actually entirely sure what this is. Could you give me any more examples of a calecitero?
For example, Robinho could be a calecitero player too. Yeah. It's very difficult because it's a player who obviously es vistoso, es un jugador vistoso pero es poco efectivo. Regatea más de la cuenta. Se pasa del regate y no suelta la pelota. Y a veces ralentiza al equipo.
Is it a bit like Morfón or Chupón?
Morfón es un chupón, pero en este caso es un jugador que llama la atención porque hace cosas que están bien, pero luego no terminan siendo positivas para el equipo. De hecho, Dembélé y Vinicius, cuando no están finos, son un poco caleciteros.
Cristiano Ronaldo, when he arrived at Manchester United, perhaps as well, was
maybe now he's not in the top of his career. Could be. Pero es una mezcla, no es un chupón que digas que es un chupón, es que si te has pasado, has hecho un regate de más, te has enredado tú mismo y has sido vistoso, sin embargo. Es una mezcla muy complicada.
So we don't really have a word for that. We would probably say a player who hangs on to the ball too much.
Retiene la pelota mucho. Sí.
Yeah, that's it. To hang on to the ball is retener, like no soltar. He hangs on to the ball too much is what we would say. But that is absolutely incredible that the Argentinians have a word for that. Calecitero.
It's like the Eskimos, they have a lot of word for snow. In Argentina, they have a lot of word for football.
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely incredible. Calecitero. Fantastic word. Yeah, so in English, I would say a player who hangs on to the ball too much. It's a little bit like a morphon, but if you're a morphon, you can still be effective, you know? I was talking to an Argentinian friend last week, and I said, what's a morphon? Because we were talking about it on the show, and he said, oh, any number 10 is a morphon. Any number 10. So Maradona, you know, but he was effective at least. So, but yeah, Calecitero is this idea that you're a ball hog, but you're not effective. So you hang on to the ball for too long. Very good. Okay, Ruben, you've won again this week. 2 points.
Well, now we are draw right now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, but like I don't know. I think you've already beaten me. I think because I think you're going to get this one. So the next word that we have is a Scottish word again, or a word about a Scottish in a Scottish context, and that is the hairdryer treatment. The hairdryer treatment.
Hairdryer is secador.
Mm-hmm.
No? Y treatment is tratamiento. I remember I used the expression on the table treatment, como estar en el dique seco, estar como en la mesa de tratamiento.
On the treatment table.
On the treatment table. Mm-hmm. On the treatment table, in this case, we have el tratamiento del secador.
Yeah.
But yeah. I think it's not about to have a good looking or to have your hair.
It's not to help you be more good looking. No, definitely
it's not good looking. Okay, no. So for example, es un tratamiento de secado, ¿no? Who received that hair dryer treatment? The player who playing, the player they are not playing, or they are who received this treatment?
Good question. Okay, so every week in the country, probably all over the world, somebody will receive the hair dryer treatment. The person who invented the expression, it was Mark Hughes. Do you remember Mark Hughes?
Yeah, Mark Hughes played in Barcelona.
Barcelona, Manchester United. He was from Wales, Welsh player. He was a manager of Manchester City and things like that. Well, when he was a player, he described the behavior or one of the techniques of one of his managers as being the hair dryer treatment. Now, the fact that I've said it's a Scottish expression is a big clue. Who do you think the manager was?
So the manager gave the treatment to the players.
Mm-hmm. He gave the hair dryer treatment to the players, but he didn't use a hair dryer.
I suppose it's a metaphor, no?
Mm-hmm. It's a metaphor.
It's one, for example, could be when the manager, after a bad match, they're very angry with them and they decide to echar una bronca fuerte a los jugadores.
To tell the players off.
With the end of they reaccionen, to react or something. It's like una peta. Aquí decimos una peta.
Una peta. So
echarte la peta.
This I like echar una bronca. Echar una bronca is to tell someone off. Yeah, me echó una bronca would be he told me off or she told me off. And yes, it's this idea of like a very strong telling off, but not necessarily with the objective of making them play better. Sometimes it's when the game is finished, and it's just basically. I'm going to give you a point for this because you're absolutely correct. If the match is going badly, or if he wants something different, or if he's not happy, he gives you the hair dryer treatment. And the phrase was invented by Mark Hughes about Alex Ferguson. Alex Ferguson was famous for the hair dryer treatment when he was a manager in Scotland with St Mirren and Aberdeen, and when he went to Manchester United as well. Some very, very famous incidents of the hair dryer treatment when he perdió los papeles, you could say. He lost his temper, you could say. To lose your temper, you know what we were talking about before? It's when you lose your temper and you shout at people in el vestuario, in the dressing room. So when the manager te echa una bronca muy fuerte, basically. So we say to give someone the hair dryer treatment.
And it works. It works because I remember when I played football, I was in youth team. It was very important. hair dryer treatment in a specific moment, and it was very different because, especially when you want they react, no? You want to change something.
You want the players to react. Something. Yeah,
I think it works.
That's it. Yeah, you want the players to react, exactly. So you give them the hairdryer treatment, but you have to know when to do it. You can't do it all the time. You have to choose your moments to give them the hairdryer treatment. Ruben, fantastic. Well done. You have won this week the challenge.
Great.
Brilliant. Now, we are going to move on now to another part of today's show. We're going to discuss what has been happening in the world of football in recent days and in the last week. And that means that it's time for this week's press review. Okay, Ruben, so for the last 10 minutes, we're going to have a quick look at some of the headlines that we've been seeing in the newspaper or in the newspapers across the world. So I would like to start with the polémica. The polémica. How do we say polémica?
Controversy.
Controversy. Very good. And if it was an adjective, we would say controversial. We would say like something that is polémico or polémica. So we're going to be talking about this controversial situation with Gerard Piqué. There's an article from the Free Press Journal that says leaked audios reveal Gerard Piqué helped to negotiate a 24 million euro commission to take the Spanish Super Cup to Saudi Arabia. Now, this has been massive news the past 3 days, more or less, 4 days, basically all of this week. Everybody's been talking about this, from the sports media to political media, because it was a very big thing. First of all, leaked. I like this word, to leak. What does leak mean? If you leak information.
Leak es una gotera. Because I remember when I learned how to that word. I was living in London in a jail hostel, and I had something I didn't know how to describe, and I looked for my dictionary, look up the word, and I learned that leak is gotera. The pronunciation is exactly the same that puerro, but it's different to write it. And leak es gotera, pero leak es una filtración también, claro. Una gotera es una filtración. So to leak, y ahora con las Wikileaks es muy fácil acordarse de que el leak es una filtración o una gotera.
Una gotera, exactly. Yeah, so this idea of the information is leaving when it shouldn't leave. So that's to leak information, filtrar información. Very good. Oh, be careful, Ruben. Youth hostel. If it's juventud, youth hostel.
Youth, yeah,
youth
no.
Hostel. That's it. So you had a leak in your youth hostel, and Gerard Piqué and Rubiales have suffered a leak. Now, the two of them are very angry about this. It's interesting that they have come out and said, no, this is ridiculous. You know, that everything we did was legal. That's not why people are angry, though, is it? People aren't angry because they did something illegal. Why are people angry about this situation?
Well, I think the main difference is that you can hear the voices talking about it, because this information was given. Was given times ago. I know that Barcelona, Madrid are going to win more than the rest of the competitors. The Cosmos are going to receive a commission. Because we know that information, but now when you have the voices talking about it, that's more interesting for the press, and that's I think is the difference.
Yeah, there's something about it when you hear the way that they're talking about it, and the way that their private conversations contrast with their public declarations about this. You know, Rubiales was saying, you know, when they announced that they were going to have the Super Cup in Saudi Arabia, this is a fantastic opportunity. It will be a positive thing for Saudi Arabia, for human rights in the country, and all this stuff about equality and how it would be good for women in the country and all that. And you realize that all of that is not true. It was all about money from the beginning, you know, and you can hear these conversations with them. You know, it's just that I think it's the hypocrisy of it. You know, you're seeing one thing in public. These are business. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and football is largely a business, but it's just that, so, you know, 24 million commission for what? You know, and for what? Like, I want to be a comisionista. I want to have a job as a commissioner. It seems that you can earn a lot of money from doing not very much. So I think I'm going to stop doing my job as a teacher, and I'm going to try and become a commission earner.
You should.
I think it'd be a good career path. But no, like Saudi Arabia, like I haven't watched the Super Cup in the last 2 years, but I'm not interested in it. I don't think it's the Spanish Super Cup anymore if it's in Saudi Arabia, you know, in a country like that as well. It's a horrible situation for people, and you know, for women, for other minorities and things like that. And to try and justify it the way he did, and then we discover that it's actually nothing to do with human, you know, a positive impact. It's all about the money. You know, and I think that's been the really difficult thing. But we'll see where the situation goes. You know, people are still very angry about it, but we'll see what happens with it. Another good article. We're going to be talking about the situation with Liverpool are going to be playing against Villarreal. Virgil van Dijk says that he is very wary of the Villarreal threat. Now, I like this word wary, to be wary.
Es como precavido, ¿no?
Precavido.
Van Dijk es precavido sobre la amenaza del Villarreal, o sea que tiene cuidado. Because obviously they has eliminated to Bayern and Juventus.
They've eliminated Bayern and Juventus. Yeah, they've knocked out Bayern and Juventus. So he's wary, he is consciente de la amenaza, del riesgo, you know. Interesting that amenazar is to threaten, but una amenaza is threat. We would say a threat. We don't say a threat. So Van Dijk is wary, he's conscious, he's aware of the Villarreal threat. Are you confident about Villarreal's ability to beat Liverpool or to get to the final? Or do you think this would be a bridge too far, as we say?
In my opinion, I didn't thought that Villarreal was going to eliminate to Bayern. Juventus is another thing, but Bayern, I thought that Bayern was a very difficult team. Now, I think it's very difficult to repeat the success against Liverpool. But you never know, because we are talking about football, and not always the best one win.
Yeah.
Liverpool has a great team, better team than Villarreal, but we are talking about football.
That's it. Yeah, I didn't think that Villarreal would win against either of those teams, against Juve, against Bayern, but they did. And especially in the case of Juve, it was a really convincing victory, 3 goals in Italy, and against Bayern, you know, to win those, to win a game and then to draw a game against them, really, really difficult. So why not? But I just think Liverpool are possibly the best team in the world now, possibly even better than Manchester City. They really are absolutely fantastic. However, there is a risk for them, and we see this in the next article, which is from The Guardian. Liverpool and Manchester City are running magnificently, but on fumes. So to be running on fumes, interesting thing this. Fumes?
Are running on fumes.
Yeah.
Fume es combustible.
Sort of, yeah.
¿No? Something like that.
Or like vapor.
Probably vapor. O sea, una forma de mover steam. Máquinas, ¿no? O sea, que es algo así como Liverpool and Manchester City están corriendo magníficamente, pero con combustible. ¿Así?
So literally that's what it sounds like. You're thinking of fuel, which is combustible. That's fuel. Fumes is literally, it's like the vapor, you know, it's like there's almost, or smoke fumes, yeah? Humo, smoke fumes. So to run on fumes, it means that, basically it means that you don't have much energy left.
Oh, que te estás quedando sin energía.
Se está quedando sin energía, sin combustible. Yeah, they're running out of petrol, they're running out of gas, they're running out of energy, exactly. So to run out of something is quedarse sin. For example, my drink, this is water, but imagine I have a can of Coca-Cola and it's been open for a long time. You could say that the Coca-Cola is running out of gas. It's running out of bubbles. My car is running out of petrol because I haven't filled it in a long time. Liverpool and Manchester City are running out of energy. They're running out of petrol. They're running out of gas. It just means that they're becoming tired. And if you're becoming tired, you can say they are running on fumes, or we are running on fumes at the moment. Very useful.
Very good expression.
It's an excellent expression. And the very last one, just a general point. After yet another comeback, the La Liga title will soon be Real Madrid's again. Real Madrid are going to win the league now. I think everybody agrees.
Yes.
What did you think of their comeback against Sevilla the other day? That was incredible.
Oh, yes. I think Real Madrid played a very good second half.
Mm-hmm.
They are in a very good moment. A lot of important players, for example, Benzema and Courtois, obviously they are the key of the team, but for example, Rodrigo is playing well right now. And I think they, and two are playing well, but at two, ellos tienen las cosas de cara. I don't know how to say that. They are in a moment that everything is doing it great.
Everything's in front of them, no? Or everything, they're doing everything well, no? They're doing everything well.
Ya, pero que además, digamos que tienes un poco de suerte a favor, porque te viene todo bien. O sea, no tienes la mala suerte que puedes tener en algún momento, no tiras 3 tiros al palo ese día. Ese tipo de cosas que al final se necesitan para ganar algo, también le están saliendo bien.
Everything is going in their favor, we would say.
Eso, exactly.
Everything is going in their favor. Yeah, that's it. Everything is going in their favor. Exactly. Tener las cosas de cara. I like that.
Sí, tener las cosas de cara.
Everything is going in their favor. Very good. Excellent. Fantastic. Very good. Yes, Real Madrid almost certainly going to win the league this year. Fantastic. That was a very interesting press review. Lots of really good vocabulary. Remember, you can check out that vocabulary on YouTube later next week if you want to revise anything that you've been listening to here. Now, we don't have too much time left, so it's time to finish the program, as always, by giving you the clues, rather, for next week's mystery player. Ruben, kick us off with clue number 1, please.
He played in England, Brazil, Argentina, China, and Spain.
Very good. He played in England, Brazil, Argentina, China, and Spain. Clue number 2, he won 2 Olympic gold medals. Tiene 2 oros olímpicos.
Not easy.
Yeah, not bad at all. So he won 2 Olympic gold medals. Number 3, Ruben?
He won the league in Brazil, Argentina, and Spain.
Very good. He won the league in Brazil, Argentina, and Spain. So a successful club career as well as international career. Clue number 4, he only scored 11 goals in his career. Ha marcado 11 goles en toda su carrera.
I hope he's not a striker.
I hope he's not a striker. Yeah, that would be a very unsuccessful career as a striker. If you think of the Chilavert, the goalkeeper, I think he scored 46 goals or something like that. So if you're a striker that only scored 11, not very good. So we're not going to tell you his position, but he only scored 11 goals in his career. And number 5, remember, what was his nickname?
His nickname was the Little Boss.
The Little Boss. El Jefecito.
Yeah.
The Little Boss. I like
easy this week, huh?
That is it. I think it's a big clue, the ito part, the little part. Yeah. So his nickname was the Little Boss. Well, if you think you know the answer, write to us on Twitter at speak_football_, and you can let us know who you think the mystery player is this week. Thanks to those of you who joined us today. And if you're listening on Vaughan Radio, remember, stick around with us here for La Hora Extra with Richard Vaughan, which starts in just a few minutes. Thank you for joining us as always, and we will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.